You'll see throughout the interview that Sharazad Ali makes blanket statements about black women, but she never puts any facts, evidence, or reasoning behind them. But black men simply agree with her because it gives them reason to sit in their do-nothing behavior and blame black women for everything wrong with the black community, instead of taking on the responsibility of fighting the system for our freedom.
It's an interview done with Sister Sharazad Ali, which you guys already know. I've ordained her as maternal grandmother of the channel. So I thought it would be dope to go over, because generally when I've gone over her in the past, it's been her decades ago. So I think it'd be dope to go over who she is today, her mindset today, and what she thinks about the things that are happening today.
So our families have been so torn apart, and we have been made to hate each other. And the other reasons is that every problem that the white woman has had with the white man, they have pushed those issues on us, or we have adopted those issues and decided that that was our problem too. When I keep saying we don't have nothing to do with the white woman and what she got going with her man. We trying to deal with our own.
Since the 90s, she's been saying that white women have pushed their issues onto black women, or that black women have adopted the white woman's issues with her men. But she doesn't say what those issues are. What issues have black women taken up that white women have pushed on us?
And as a result of our frustration and our anger, many of our men have left us to go to women of other nationalities because they feel like they can get along with them better. It's not because they're better women, but they haven't suffered the same kind of traumas that we have from childhood growing up, what we saw, what we did, and all of the things we had to go through. And so their mood is better. They ain't mad all the time like us.
So she's saying that black men recognize that black women have dealt with traumas growing up, frustrations and anger. And again, she doesn't say what those frustrations are, so I'll say it. Growing up without a father in the home, which causes financial struggles, a frustrated mother who's working hard, working long hours, making minimum wage, trying to take care of children by herself because the man decided to just leave. Then Sharazad says that because the black woman is angry and frustrated, the black man goes to a white woman. So instead of taking the responsibility of helping to raise his children, helping the black woman and the black community, he jumps ship like a coward and goes to another community. And she says this as if it's the woman's fault that he's not there and not his.
And that's one of the reasons that so many black women were angry with me for putting out the black man's guide to understand the black woman. Because our men needed a heads up. And even with that, it's hard for them. But they just have certain information they don't have about us that keeps them confused and makes them reject us and go to someplace else. He's outside looking for peace of mind. Yeah, because we're not that familiar with peace. We're just familiar with getting dressed up and putting on eyelashes and, maybe even going to school. More of us are graduating from college. More of us are getting PhDs. We got good credit cards. We got a whole lot of things. Cars.
But not happiness.
It hasn't made us happy.
Isn't it interesting that she says black women are educated, they have cars, they have good credit, they have all these things, but she doesn't mention anything the black men have or are doing. Yet she puts them on a pedestal for doing nothing. And this is why black men praise her. And a lot of black men today have been repeating her talking points since the 90s.
And we have lived in a society where our man has been disenfranchised. We have run them crazy at home, and they've been around so many women, they grow up and talk like women and act like women. When we dragging our son to the beauty parlor to get our hair braided, he got to sit in there and listen to women for 3 and 4 hours.
Has an impact.
Okay? When we take him over to our girlfriend's house and he got to listen to that. Well, see, a lot of that impacts upon his development.
Yes.
She's leaving out the fact that the woman takes the son with her because the father isn't there. He's not there to babysit or even to take time with his son and to teach him to be a man. 72% of black men abandon their children. So why isn't she blaming the man for not being there instead of the woman who is there?
Identify with being black first and having a black man. But because of the women's liberation movement, now we try to identify as being female, and we got all of this here, you know, black girls do this and black women do that, you know, and we have not come up with a program as black women that honors our men as much as we honor ourselves.
And where's the program where black men are honoring black women? Let me say that again. And where is the program where black men are honoring black women? Black women establish programs for black women because we get things done. And if we have to honor and uplift ourselves instead of waiting for black men to do it, then that's what we'll do. But don't ask black women to do something for black men that they're not willing to do for us. This is a clip from the Phil Donahue show from the 90s when she wrote her book. You'll see that she's an overweight woman, a very masculine woman, a very rude woman, and it's very difficult for the men on the panel to get a word in because she's so disrespectful and she talks over them. These are all the things that black men say they don't want in a woman. But because she supports their bottom shelf behavior, they praise her.
Please let this gentleman make his point. I'll get back to you. Sir. I think one of the problems that we're having discussing this is a problem of balance. I grew up in a single-parent household with a very strong mother. And my mother was a young woman when I was growing up, and instead of going out and partying, it was disco days. She worked for 11 hours a day, and she kept us together. And I'm sorry, this is not a balanced picture that you're drawing here. I mean, black women, I'm sorry, I have nothing but respect and congratulations
for them. I'm the first woman in 500 years, the first black woman. Yeah. Wait a minute, this is important. Is it a balanced picture that I am the first black woman in 500 years to write a book in favor of the black man? Is that a balanced picture?
You're not the first woman to do. You keep saying that you're the first woman, but the world didn't begin with you. You're just trying to make money off of black women, and it's not right.
They want to talk about the Monet.
But she'll tell the child when the black man is not present, according to Sharazad Ali. Show him 43, Brian. Here's how you depict black women alone at home with the kids. Your father don't care nothing about you. I'm the one who loves you.
Is not in the house with
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if
right.
he wanted you here, he'd be with you. Your father's a bum. He ain't got no job. He ain't got no nothing. Mr. Peterson, among others, steps forward to say that once you expose a child of any sex to that kind of rhetoric in childhood, they will grow up to disrespect the gender of the person against whom it's directed.
Disrespecting our men in front of our children, and usually it's based upon because he does not give us money.
What she's not saying is the issue would be solved if the black man would give the black woman money and provide for the family. Why isn't he giving her money? Isn't the black man supposed to be the provider? While I don't condone women talking to children about adult problems, the women were correct in their frustrations, that if the father wanted to be there, he would. The father is not providing for them, so yes, he is a bum. How is Sharazad defending these men who refuse to stand up, take responsibility, and be men?
Section of the black community, the black woman is emotionally beating up the male.
Yes.
Speak about is the.
Please give him your attention.
One thing I want to speak about is the emotion of the black man.
Yes.
The black man is emotionally out of order too because of the black woman. We're not strong within ourselves. We have no sense of direction for ourselves. And this insecurity has been passed down to us from the black woman because the father has not been there for us.
This statement shows how weak the black man was and still is. He sounds like a child, and he's exhibiting childlike behavior because of women like Sharazad Ali, who they depend on to coddle them. He's speaking on emotions as if he wants to be fed a bottle. It's not in the genetic makeup of a woman to teach a man to be a man. The blame should be on the fathers who choose not to be there.
Let me explain something to you right now. We're all in the same boat. I was just telling that to this brother right here. If you row in two different directions, you're going to go in circles, all right? That's number one. Number two, nobody forces you to do anything that you don't want to do. If you take the line of least resistance, that's the direction in which you move. Now, the way in which it manifests in terms of what's happening here right now.
What do we do wrong?
What did we do wrong?
What do we do wrong?
What we did wrong was carrying your behind for the last 50
Oh, now we get good.
No. On top of that,
This woman is correct. The problem is that black women have been supporting and carrying black men ever since slavery, and black men have been wallowing in their oppressed behavior ever since. And with a woman like Sharazad Ali taking the responsibility off the men, make them continue to act like children, waiting for their masculine mammy to save them.
I have a son. I have a son. My son is in acting. My son is going to college. My son is doing quite well. I have a daughter in grad school. I'm a single parent, okay? Now, you as a black man are as responsible for standing on your 2 feet as I am responsible. And how it's manifesting right now is in this midst of confusion that we're dealing with.
Don't hedge the question.
No, I'm not cleaning anything up. I don't have to.
Very good.
You can see for yourself.
Now, here we have an example, Phil. If we stay in here long enough, every black woman I mentioned in this book will stand up.
Miss Ali, I truly hope that you make all of the money that you obviously want to make. Because this...
Why is she back on the mic? Now she want to show. Get that mic from her.
It seems to me, it seems...
There's a lot of people who haven't spoken.
It seems to me that you're behaving very much as the woman you described right this minute.
I'm a black woman raised in America, too. I am a black woman raised in America, too.
The real issue is that this is about a media event. White America has truly been entertained by the African American community this afternoon. And I am very, very sorry that we are nothing more than fodder and blood money for you to make money on your book. This is a travesty and a shame.
Yes, let me get somebody who hasn't had a shot here. Yes.
Come to my lectures. I'm doing them nationally and find out what I'm saying. Go ahead, brother.
Sister Ali,
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to tell you that sub means beneath and under, so it's very clever to say that it means to collaborate with. That's just not true. Secondly, if you're saying submit and subdue, that means under. And my question to you, I have 2 points to make. One, can you say that the sun is greater than the moon, or yang is greater than yin,
Yes, I
or that the left brain is greater than the right? Well, that's been the problem with Western patriarchy. That's one thing. Secondly, I disagree with the model that you present. Now, the thing is this.
Brother,
The thing is this. Let me make my point. My point is that you have to present a model. We are in bad shape. We are in bad shape, and we are in bad shape. And yes, the black woman has unwittingly contributed in some ways.
Right.
I will admit that.
That's right.
But the model you have to present is one that presents a balance. I look at the black woman as the feminine representation of the supreme being, just like I'm the masculine representation of the supreme being. Okay? Now, that's an African perspective. If you have that as a model, then you can strive towards that. That's a balanced perspective. That's an African perspective.
Last year, about 60,000 books were published. Miss Ali wrote me in the beginning of the year and asked me would I help push her book. All right?
No, I wanted to let you know, brother, I was doing. I had not read the book.
Right.
Okay? After I read the book, we pulled the book off the shelf primarily because of the advocating violence against black women, number one, and number two, 90% of the book is incorrect when you're talking about black women.
Yeah, but you don't. Listen, if you're going to pull all the books off that are incorrect, you're going to have no shelves, nothing but shelves.
Wait a minute. Look, wait a minute, Phil. No, if a white woman had wrote the book, if a black man had wrote the book, or if a white man wrote the book, we wouldn't even be out here.
They're not qualified.
It would be seen as racist, and the book would also be seen as a sexist book too.
Yes.
Black men have proven that they try to choose every path but the path to fight the dominant society for the rights and freedoms that will have a trickle-down effect to change the black community for the better. And instead of building black communities with small businesses, instead of staying in their children's lives and raising their sons, instead of obtaining higher education for better paying careers, instead of marrying black women and rebuilding the black race, they rely on outdated talking points from older black men who were too afraid to challenge the system during their time. And they rely on masculine black women to coddle their misguided and submissive behavior that has proven to further destroy the black community.